Welcome to this video everyone, and I hope you are doing well. This video you'll be learning about a Power BI project. We have requested one of the subject matter expert in the industry who is like 15 years of experience in one of the big company. We have asked them to create something which would be useful for our learners. We are creating and keeping this project completely free of cost. Now, many people watch, but hardly few people do the project practically. And people who do practically, for them, we are giving some rewards this time. So this one project video, you have to watch everyone and do the practical side by side. People who work hard, they will be getting some rewards. And from there, whatever dashboards and projects you'll be creating, you have to submit in the Google form. The link is in the description, you can check. Click on the link, put your details, put your name properly because you'll be getting some coupons for something which I'll be announcing very soon. So fill the details, fill your name, fill the dashboard and put the PDF and PBX, whatever file is there. And from there, we'll review. The top 5 performers will be getting a free course from pavanlalwani.com Academy. So I'm just waiting for all your dashboards. Watch this video properly. This is recorded by the industry expert to give you a real-time experience. When you watch this video, I want you to understand the things which are used in the real world. Okay, the training and the real world, there's a lot of difference. So you'll get an idea about how the real world looks like in the company here. So remember, after finishing this project, submit the data and the top 5 people will be getting a free course from Pavan Lalwani Academy. I wish you all the best.
Hello everyone. In this particular video, we will be trying to understand how to create a air quality index dashboard. Using air quality dashboard, you will be able to understand which are those parameters which are going to affect the air quality of a specific city or a specific region. When I speak about air quality, it is nothing related to oxygen. Yes, every single human requires oxygen, but along with oxygen, there are also various other parameters like PM 2.5, PM 10, nitrogen levels, formaldehyde levels, and so on. If all of those parameters or the indexes are going to be adequate, then only it is sustainable for a human being to survive. Not only human being, for all the animals to survive, there need to be a really good air quality. So in this particular video, we will be trying to understand which are those pollutants which are actually making our environment unstable and inhabitable. To understand this, what we will do is we will be trying to understand the data. So here is the data. So the data is coming from a Indian source wherein you have various cities which are available in India. There are continuous dates which are actually available here. And along with that, PM 2.5 is a one-off pollutant. It's called as particle matters 2.5. Okay, similar to carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide. These are particle matters, which basically means these are very tiny objects which will be around us and we won't be able to see that from our naked eyes. Similarly, PM particle matters 10, these are little bit bigger in size, which will be like a dust which can be seen from a naked eyes. People who are from non-Delhi areas, okay, they might feel little bit difficult to understand these things, but a person who is from North India, especially from Delhi region, Delhi NCR region, or even larger metro cities, they will be able to identify what is meant by PM 2.5 and PM 10. So the NO2 is the nitric dioxide, which is one of a component which is normally found in the atmosphere. Similarly, we also have something called as nitric oxide, which is also a component which is found in the atmosphere. Please make sure whenever we have too much of nitric oxide, there is a higher chance that it's going to be not healthy. Either it is nitric oxide, nitric dioxide, or nitric X oxide. This is called as nitric X oxide. So whenever these numbers tend to increase, which basically means there is more pollutant in the area. Similarly, there is also something called as NH3. Okay, NH3 is one of another component which is lethal, okay, which is actually called as ammonia. So ammonia actually make a person not to breathe really well, and it's also related to a lot of respiratory illnesses. And too much of ammonia, especially inhaling, can also create certain irritation and bronchitis. So these are the issues. Similarly, CO, that is basically carbon monoxide. Whenever you are going to take carbon monoxide, it is going to kill you slowly. Unfortunately, we cannot identify whether there is carbon monoxide present in atmosphere from our naked eyes until and unless we have a specific meters to read. Similarly, there is also something called as sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide is one such element which is going to influence acid rain. So even these numbers are also something that always need to be taken care. And ozone, yes, many people might be assuming that yes, ozone is really good. Yes, we do understand ozone is really good. But unfortunately, if we try to inhale ozone, there is a higher chance that a person may not survive. So ozone is also something which need to be only available in the uppermost hemisphere. And if you are going to inhale ozone, it can be lethal as well. Similarly, benzene, toluene and hexene, these are benzides, okay, which are also called as formaldehydes as well sometimes. These are carcinogenic in nature, okay, this may lead for lung cancer or these kind of thing. And all the combination of this, there is an index called as AQI, which is being calculated. There are certain days where the sensors are not working, so that's the reason there are some blank values here. And there are some values where the sensor is actually working perfectly. The dates are continuous, which basically means the dates are not missing values. Okay, the dates are continuous. Sometimes sensor is trying to malfunction and we are able to see that sensor data malfunctioning. So this is a small understanding about the data, and now we will try to use this particular data into our visualization. So right now I have opened a Teams chat wherein I have various Excel files which are available in the Teams. Now, here I have a CSV file which is called as city_data.csv. This is the same data which I need to load into Power BI. To load this particular data, I have to first open Power BI and click on Get Data. So here in the mode, I do have various options where I can load the data from SharePoint. Here inside SharePoint, I do have an option to load data using SharePoint folder or SharePoint online list, or else even a SharePoint list as well. Now for this particular demo, let me load the data from a folder. To load the data from folder, I'm going to click on SharePoint folder and say connect. Here, I need to provide the folder URL. When it comes to folder URL, please make sure whenever you are going to have this particular link, you have to always copy till the site name. That is, I do have a site wherein it's called as All Teams General Discussion. I'm just going to copy this. Then I want to go to the Power BI and paste this particular URL. Here in this particular URL, I'm going to click on OK. Now I'm able to see I have various files which are actually available. Which few of them are in PDF, few of them are in DAX and documents, and few of them are in various other format. Right now, I'm going to click on transform data. Here in transform data, I'm going to use the city table which is available here. I'm going to select the city. Right now, I do have the city_date.csv. To get this particular data, I'm going to click on something called as combine files. As soon as I'm going to click on combine files, I will be able to see all the columns which are actually available here. Now I'm going to click on OK. Now I'm able to see the data source name, all the columns which are available right here. Now, here in this particular data, I have some unwanted columns. I don't require the source name. For that specific reason, I'm going to click on the source name and say remove columns. Then there are column names which need to be the first row as the header. For that specific reason, inside home, there is something called as use first row as headers. I'm going to click on the same. Now I have also fixed the column names as well. Now here I'm able to see there are lot of null values which are actually available. Now to have the data without null values on all the columns, I'm going to select the entire data. Using column profile based on the entire data give me better understanding on the data. Okay, I have nearly 12 to 14% of null values in the entire column. Now I'm going to select all the columns which are present here. And then I'm going to remove the empty values. Now, as I have removed the empty values, I'm just going to click on close and apply. There will be some empty values which will be still available, but it is not a major concern as of now. Now we have successfully loaded the data. Now this is a single table and do not have any other table or a dimension table along with it. So for that specific reason, let us directly jump ahead and create a report. So to create a report, I have to click on this particular area called as report view. Here in this particular canvas, I have the latest Power BI which is available, which has the report view, the table view, as well as the model view. Recently, we also have a option called as DAX query view as well. This is the latest update. For example, if you are not able to see the DAX query view, you can click on Files, then click on Options and Settings, and then Options. Here, inside this Options, you do have an option called as Preview Features. Inside this particular preview features, please make sure you have to click on something called as DAX query view. You have to click on this and then say OK. If you are able to do this, you have to restart your Power BI, which basically means you have to close your Power BI once and open your Power BI once again. That's it. You will be able to see the DAX query view. Now we will try to create a report. Let me try to understand the various parameters which are available here. Now let me start ahead with a visualization which is called as a line chart. To create a line chart, I will first visit the line chart. Inside this line chart, I will try to provide my date column, which is my date. I will take this date and directly drag and drop this particular column into x-axis, or else I can also choose the column from here as well. You do have multiple routes for the same destination, wherein you can select a column from here or else select a column from the data area as well. This is called as fields. Now, I do also have the y-axis. So here I do have various options. The majority of the case, I am concerned about something called as AQI. I'm going to take this AQI and drag and drop into the y-axis. Here, I'm able to see the AQI, which is increasing and decreasing. Unfortunately, the AQI that we are able to see is the sum of AQI, which basically means if I go to this table view, I'm able to see there is a column called as AQI. Right now, this particular visualization is adding all the values, but this is not going to make any sense. For that specific reason, I'm going to convert this y-axis into a average. Now, I will be able to see in 2015, the AQI was 21246, and in 2020, the AQI decreased to 113. Now, this particular AQI is for the entire country, which basically means there are various cities which are available in India which is having this particular reading. This is an average. I can also apply a slicer to slice and dice the data based on a specific geographical location. To do this, I have to click outside this particular visualization once and then click on the slicer. If I don't do it, I will be able to replace this particular visualization. Let me show how. Now, I'm going to click on this visualization and then click on slicer. As soon as I'm going to do that, hope you are able to see the whole table got vanished and we are able to see a slicer now. If we are doing any kind of mistake, we can basically go here and click on something called as undo the list action. Now I'm going to click here. Our visualization is back. So for that specific reason, I always request all the learners to click outside this visualization once and then click on the desired visualization that you want. Right now, I need a slicer. For that specific reason, I'm going to click right here. Inside this particular slicer, I'm going to use the city column. Hope you are able to see there are various cities out in India which can be fed into this particular part. So now you're able to see there are various cities which are available in the city column, which we have added inside a slicer. Now you're able to see this particular visualization is taking a larger space. So now you have some slicer settings. Using the slicer settings, you can basically optimize the size and the area. Let me show you how. Now I'm going to click on this visualization and right here I do have an option called as format pane. I'm just going to click on this. As soon as I'm going to click on this, I will be able to see format. Inside this format, I have various options. I'm going to select the slicer setting. Inside the slicer setting, I do have an option called as vertical list, a tile, or else a drop down. For these kind of scenarios, drop down tend to be really efficient. The reason is it is going to consume a very less space. Here, I can select a specific city and I will be able to see the values. To do multi-select, I have to click on control and then click on the slicer. If you want more settings, there is also a section called as slicer settings right here. Here, I can do various slicer settings such as single select, where I will be able to select only one specific value. Multi-select with control button, wherein I will be able to select using my control button. If you want to disable the control button, you can undo it. Right now, you can basically do multi-select without using the control button. Similarly, you also have an option to add select all. If I'm going to click on this, I will be able to see an option called as select all. So these are the various options which are actually available. I'm going to select the multi-select and remove the select all option. Now, we will try to understand which is that specific city which has the least air pollution and which has the really bad air quality index. To do this, I'm going to create a visualization using the city and the AQI. As I have previously told you, here I'm able to see the sum of AQI, which I'm going to change it to an average. So I'm able to see the average AQI in Ahmedabad is really bad compared to other cities. Now, I do have a visualization which average of AQI by city, and this is a visualization which has been suggested by Power BI. Now, I can switch off the suggestion and see this is a clustered bar chart. If I want, I can also add legend on cities and will be able to see a bar like this. As this is clustered bar chart, we are able to see very thin lines. This can be fixed by using a stacked bar chart. Adding to this, I can also add the label as well. Now, I do have the city names and the pollution which is available on the cities. Now, I do have a very long list of cities, out of which I want to find the top 3 cities or the top 3 pollutants. To do that, I'm going to click on this visualization and go to an area called as cities. Here, inside the cities, I do have various types of filters that I can actually apply only on a visualization. These are called as visual level filters. Similarly, you have a page level filter which will be applied on the entire page. Similarly, you also have something called as all page filter, which is going to be applied on all the pages which are going to be available in this particular report. Now, here, this is basic filter. Just below basic filter, we have something called as top N. So I have to select top N to see only the topmost values which are available. Now, I'm going to click on top and say 3. The reason is I want to see the top 3 cities which are polluted. Now, I can directly go to something called as AQI and drag and drop into the area of something called as by value. Here, I will change this particular thing to an average itself and say apply. As soon as I'm going to say apply, I'm able to see the top 3 polluting cities which are actually available. Now, you can see I have a title which is not attractive. Now, I can basically change this particular title by double clicking on this and typing a new title. I'm going to call this as top 3 pollutants. So here, by double clicking on this, I was able to change the title to top 3 pollutant city. Similarly, to find the bottom, which is having the clean AQI or which is having a better AQI, I am just going to copy this particular visual and paste it. Right now, I have an identical visualization. Here, we have the top 3 polluted city. Okay. Here, we will say least polluted city. Now, to find the least polluted city, I'm just going to click on this visualization. And here, inside the visual filter, I'm going to say the bottom inside the show item. And I'm going to click on apply. Now, these are the top polluted cities. These are the least polluted cities based on average AQI. Similarly, I can also add a couple of other visualizations. Now, let us try to create few more important visualizations. Here, we may also require a couple of information, such as we not only rely on AQI, but also we do rely on various other parameters as well. There are certain instances where we don't have AQI, but we do have other information. So now we will try to use this to the visualization part. To do this, I'm just going to click on this visualization. Now I'm going to use this particular information to create couple of cards. To create cards, I'm going to click on this visualization, that is cards, and get in all the important visualization like average CO2. So here we are able to see average CO2. Similarly, we will try to bring in various other columns like nitric oxide and so on. Majorly nitric oxide, sulfuric dioxide and PM 2.0 are one of the prime pollutants in the atmosphere. Carbon monoxide is going to reduce our platelets. Nitrogen oxide is going to influence our breathing. SO2 is going to create acid rains, and PM 2.5 will destroy our lungs. So I'm going to consider only these cards as one of the most important visualization. Now I will also bring in couple of other visualization such as a map. What if we are able to see all this information over a map? The reason is Power BI do enables us to use a map. To create a map, I'm going to click on this map and inside locations, I will get the locations, that is cities. So the data is collected from all the locations which are available here. Now I'm going to use the average AQI as a bubble size and use city names as legends. Here I will also try to add category labels as well. As these category labels are getting little crowded, I will try to remove it. Now if I'm going to hover on this, I'm able to see Ahmedabad is having 452 and so on. If interested, we can also use the tooltips wherein we can bring in the various information as well. Now, if I'm going to hover on them, I'm able to see the sum of the various other parameters. Now I can click here and make it as average. Now, as we have this particular visualization, we will try to change the titles of all the visualization. Here, I'm going to call this as area-wise AQI overview, which is going to give me an information wherein I will be able to see the city-wise AQI. Similarly, for this particular visualization, I'm just going to double click on the title and change it to AQI trend overview. For this particular visualization, I can try out various combinations. Like I can add a forecast or a trend line. But right now, I feel trend line is adequate. Now, we will try to add few interesting layouts. To create a really good layout for this particular visualization, we have to choose a background. To choose a background, I have to click outside the visualization and right click And here I will be able to see the format canvas. So here in format canvas, I can choose various background, colors and so on. I am interested to have a white and gray. For that specific reason, I am going to choose the gray color. Here, I do have an option to increase or decrease. I am going to decrease to 14%. Now, I do have various visualizations which are laid around all the areas. Any report that we are going to create on Power BI do require a title. So for that specific reason, let us create a title. I'm going to select all the three visualizations and going to align to our right hand side. Then here in this particular area, I'm going to choose insert and then I'm going to click on text box. I can choose this particular text box even in home as well. Here in home, I do have an option called as text box. Now I'm just going to align this particular text box to my left top. Here I'm going to type my title, that is going to be, I will say, air quality report. I'm going to make this bold and then increase the font size. Adding to that, I can also change the orientation as well. Here for this particular visualization, I can also go to search and try to add in borders. Inside size and style, I will be able to find the borders. Or else I can also add a shadow. Shadow and borders will give you an distinct overview. Here, this visualization may look lame. By adding a shadow, it will enhance the contrast. Similarly, I am also going to add the same border to all the visualization. To do that, I am going to click on the visualization, click on Format Painter and apply the same on all the visualization. Now here, I am able to see all the cards are of different size. Now, I want to choose a standard size. Here, I am going to use this as my standard size. I am going to click on this visualization and go to the for properties. Here, inside the properties, I do have size and style. Inside size and style, I do have the dimension, that is 125 and 233. I make sure all the visualization do have 125 and 233. Now all the cards are of same size. Let me align them. I'm going to click on this particular visualization and drag and drop. Similarly, I'm going to use the least populated visualization and the top polluted visualization right here. Now I have all the visualizations which are required. Things are still not aligned when it comes to the cards. For that specific reason, I'm going to click on all the cards and go to format and click on align, which is going to be align distribute horizontally. Then I'm going to click on something called as align middle. Now all of the visualizations are aligned properly. Here there is one piece of information which is still missing. This particular data do start from 2015 and end on 2017. That's specifically on September. But here in this particular report, we don't have the last refresh date. To get this last refresh date, I'm going to click on here called as new measure. When I click on new measure, I'm going to create a measure called as max date, which is going to be in double quotes. I'm going to write last refresh date and use and symbol with max date. This max date measure will always ensure to provide me the maximum date. Now I'm going to click on format and decrease the size. And going to switch off the category label. I can also add some delimiters inside the measure. Or change the format of this particular date. Here I am able to see 7/1/2020, which is the last refreshed date. If you see this particular trend, you are able to see the trend is going to end in 2020 itself, that is Q3. To understand this, I can go to table view. Here in this particular table view, I can click right here and say descending. Here, if I look into this, the last date is on 1st July 2020. Now, I'm going to click on report view and the July 2020 is the last date of the data. I can format this as well. Now, we have created this particular report. There are a couple of variations that can be done in this particular report. Here, on this particular report, we can add in colors or the background based on the numbers, or else create specific slices based on the air quality. So we are not going to use the air quality index or the air quality bucket, which is actually available here. The reason is most of the data are blank. So for that specific reason, we are undermining the AQI column as well as AQI buckets as well.